Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and I'm up once again with more from Mango Crafts, and today we're going to be doing those little gingerbreads. So here they are, already cut out. There's 3 different characters. There's one in a Santa hat with a little snowflake. You've got the little one in the scarf and the woolly hat, and we've got the little girl. Now, I've already done the 2 behind, and it's the little girl that we're going to do. Because you know me, I'm trying to be organised and save time. I'm going to be using 2 markers, and they are a tri-blend in... Let's have a look at that. Take it off camera. It's the dark red blend, and it's the darkest colour that I'm using. And we are also using a tri-blend in the brush marker, which is in grey blend, which is that one, and the darkest one is black, really. So we're using that, and I'm using just a little bit of my extra fine tip white paint pen, and that is Artistro, and that one is linked below. All of these also are linked below. Now, I've decided to use a tag that I received a couple of weeks ago, and this is a personal haul, and it was a set of tags that I got for myself, and also a little set of apertures. So I got these raggedy tags, and I bought the apertures, I think, from the same store, so that I could actually cut those into the tags. But today I'm deciding to use these, and these are also linked below. Right, so what did I already make? I made these 2. Aren't they gorgeous? Now, this background paper is a Christmas Carol paper, and it's from Glitz Girls Designs. This is from Snap Click Supply, which is digital papers, and yesterday was their One Buck Wednesday. So when you go shopping on a Wednesday, you get, you know, your digital papers for $1. But you can see there I've used the dark red and that black for the mouth and the eyes, the white paint pen for little highlights on the hat and the dots on the eyes. And I also borrowed a stamp from that gorgeous penguin stamp set from Mango, and hopefully I'm going to be able to use that set on Monday. But I just loved this kind of, you know, scribbly scattiness of that snowflake, so I actually stamped it on top of the paper just to make it look a little bit more Christmas. And then I've got my baker's twine there, and I can't remember if I got this from AliExpress or Dollar Tree. It's one or the other, but aren't they sweet? Right, now we're going to do another one, which is the matching girl, and I'm just going to move all of this out of the way. And the first thing I want to do is stamp my background, so you can see what the background looks like there. And it's just plain. Well, it was plain for me, so I just thought the addition of the snowflakes was sweet. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I've got my ink pad here. We're using VersaFine Clair, and I've just taken the lid off it. This is that little stamp. I've got it on my block, and this stamp block here is from Alina Craft. So all I want to do is add an extra little bit of Christmas to my paper. It doesn't really matter where you do it. Random is good. So I'm just adding just a few. Now, I know my character's going to kind of fill the tag, so I know I don't really need to go there. I might pop one there, and I'll go for one here. Just makes it look more Christmassy. I'll stick one there as well. Right, so now we've got a few bits of snowflakiness upon our printed paper. Right, I'm just going to pop the lid on this, and then I'm just going to pause a second while I grab a scrap of cardstock so we can do the colouring on the female gingerbread. Right, so I've got a scrap of cardstock, and I'm just going to use that to colour on because I think it's just a lot easier. And this is the actual die cut. I've cut this in my heavyweight craft cardstock, and you can see the embossing there, and that's basically where you place all your pieces. It's just really easy to do. So I'm just going to move that over to there while I'll show you my other pieces, and I've also got my pickup tool to pick up anything too small. So that is the dress, and I've also got a bow. Now these bits are going to be in red that I'm popping here, so I'm colouring my bits in one at a time. Now the frosting, that stays white, and if I can pick some of that up for you, you can see my frosting pieces, I just don't have to colour those in. I've already cut those out, and I'm just moving them up and over to one side. So those are all my bits of frosting. And then of course I've got eyes and a mouth, and those are going to be done in black in a second. And there's also 2 buttons on the dress, and I'm having my little top bits in white, which you've just seen me move here, and then my bigger buttons will be in black. So I'm doing my red colouring first, and then I'm going to do my black. Right, so the darkest end of this pen, and basically just colouring it in. I actually wish I had this shade in a brush marker, because it would be so much quicker than all of these strokes. So you can see exactly what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to finish that off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there are the red bits that I've coloured, and when you're using a marker, if you feel that you've got any, you know, sort of white outline or anything like that, just put your pen down and just draw just around the edge, and it will take any white away. That's all you've got to do. So if you haven't got the correct colour cardstock that you want to use, just go ahead and, you know, use a marker. Now there might be a bit that I've missed there, so, you know, I'll just put my pen down and just draw it. That's all that you need to do. Now I've decided I want to use that snowflake stamp on her dress again, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of like blend her with her background. Because I just really like this stamp. I'm going to go a little bit there, and a little bit there. So she's got all that lovely snowflakiness. I'm going to go there as well. There. Ooh, let's get carried away. There. Now she's got a little snowflake pattern dress, bless her. I'm just going to pop the lid back onto that. Now obviously we've got these bits, and one of the things I like to do is, as I do things, I like to glue them on. That way I don't lose them, because I'm quite prone to doing such things. And for that little bit I'm going to use my wax tip pickup tool, and I'm just going to pick that up and take it over and just stick it on. Let's have a close-up so that you can see. There you go. So we've got a little dress all stamped up, and you can still see the embossed areas there, which are going to have the buttons. Right, so let's pop those pieces on to the embossed area. Now it's done like this so that you can leave it like this. You could just go in with a white paint pen if you wanted to, and, you know, just tickle around and do whatever. But it's not going to, you know, interfere with this bit, because you've still got buttons there that you can use. But anyway, going down now, get that dress bit in, and that's big enough for me to pick up with my fingers, you know, as long as you've got some nails. So I'm going down onto the bottom of her dress there, and then you've got a little embossed area around the neck, so I'm just making sure that that's in. You can flip it over just to make sure, you know, that you haven't gone into any places that you shouldn't. But there she is now with her little dress. Now can you see how low down I am on that embossed section? Now I don't know whether my glue's gone off or whether I'm going to be able to push that up a little bit. Probably not, but that's okay, it won't be so bad. But doesn't she look sweet in that little red dress? I like that. Right, and the next bit of course is the bow. Now I can use my white paint pen on that bow. I'm just going to stick it down for a minute, and you have got that lovely edge like a cookie, so that when you frost it you've still got a little bit of gingerbread hanging out the sides. So I've got that there, and now all I'm going to do is straighten that up. Still got a little bit of wet glue, but not to worry. So now she's got her little bow on her head. Really simple to do. Now I'm going to give my paint pen a good shake because it's been a minute since I used it, and I'll test it out on this bit. Now one of the things that you find whenever you're using a white gel pen is that the reds will leak into what you're doing and make it pink. You don't get that with a paint pen. So let me have a look at the details that I've got here. I'm going to have a little dot just on the top of the bow, and I want to do this bit. We've got this little wavy edge bit, which is almost, you know, like a lace edge, but I'm just going in it with my paint pen because I quite like it. Right, so I've got a little wiggly bit on my bow. I'm going to go there as well. Ooh, I quite like that. Right, so she needs to dry a little bit over to there. And now we're going to do the black bits. And I am most certainly using my pickup tool to position these over here. That needs flipping over. Now the eyes, you know, absolutely feel free to use your flat backs when doing things like this, because personally that's what I would do. Either your 1.5 or your 4mm flat back, because unless you're cutting it in black cardstock, of course, which I didn't, I cut it all in white. But I'm going to show you what I do, and hopefully it's not going to go flying off. But I just touch what I'm doing very carefully, and then I'll roll it on the paper with the tip. Doesn't matter if it flips over, just so that you get the edges. And I hope that you can see those pieces. I'll just push that one up there, and then these are the buttons for the back of the dress. And then I'm just squidging the tip to do the mouth. And hopefully that has got all of that there. As I say, if you've got an edge, just go around it. You can of course use tweezers to hold things into position if you want to. Right, now we need some glue. I'm just going to pop my little girl there. I'm going to go with the eyes and the mouth first, because those are the smallest pieces and I really don't want to lose those. And I've got my pickup tool. Now I will squash these down with my fingers just to make sure that I've got them on the embossed section. And it also clears up any glue that you may have in the way. So let's give that a squidge. I think I've got the mouth in the right place, so I'm just going to press that just to clean it up. Right, I'm quite happy with that. So that of course is going to dry clear in a second, she says, wishful thinking. And if you feel that you're a bit too kind of grey looking and you're brave enough, you can just go in with your marker and touch that area up. Right, next up is the buttons. So I'm just going to pop some glue in the centre there, and I've already coloured the buttons in black. Make sure I've got them the right way around. And then we've got these little white pieces here. I hope you can see my finger. And they're just going to dot straight into the middle of those little black buttons, just to give a little bit of detail. So that's what we've got there. And I'm just going to pause a second while I tidy up a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to put some highlight in her eyes. So I'm just touching down really gently there so that she's got some little dots. And I think I want to have a few little kind of polka dots on her dress. Just a little bit of snow going on. So I'm just going to dot up and down there. Just for a little bit of cuteness. There. I think that looks sweet. Maybe a dot there. And one there. Maybe one there. Yeah. Woo. Right. So the next thing we're going to glue down is the gingerbread. Now, one of them is the collar. So I know this one goes to the bottom of the dress because that's the longest, but which one is the collar? That's what you have to decide. So you need to get them in there and see which one fits. So I'm going to flip that over. I believe this is the longest, but they could be the same length here as I don't believe it's that one. I'm going to pick that one up. This one looks a lot more even in shape. So I think it's that one. And these two go to the feet. I'm just going to make sure by popping that there. That one is longer than that one. Let's have a look. Yeah. Right, those two are the same length. Yeah, this one has to be the collar. This one. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's the collar. These two are the feet and these are the arms. So because this takes a while and it's a little bit fiddly, I'll do the collar piece and then I'll just do the bottom of the dress and then I'll run off and do the hands and the feet. So, oh, my glue bottle has dried up. Hang on a second. Right, that's better. Right, I'm just going to put a little dot into each of the curves. And then I'm going to pick this up. And pop that down. I'm going to have to hold that for a second. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I'm gluing it in the right place. I'm just giving it a good old squeeze. Right, and then for the bottom of the dress, I'm just going to, because your glue is going to dry clear, That's if you're using this particular one. You just need something that's going to hold it in place while you stick it down. I mean, seriously, can you believe that? All of those dots on the up curves. Only I could have done that. Right, let's have a close. So there she is, a little rick-rack dress. That's better. And the little bit on the bottom. Got a lovely little bow. Right, I'm just going to run away and do the hands and feet. Right, so here she is with all her little gingerbread bits all in place. She's got all her little details and her little stamped dress. You can, if you want to, use a little bit of chalk blush on the cheeks. But I'm just going to flip her over and pop some foam pads onto the back. See if that one fits in there. And it does. I go for another one there. And then I've got some little half pieces that I'm just going to pop down into the legs and just chop up another one. And I hope everyone is going to have an absolutely awesome day. I keep hoping for a little bit of rain, but I don't think it's going to happen. I actually got the hose pipe out in the garden yesterday and was watering everything. But of course, if you live in 9A in Florida, one of the things you don't do at this time of the year is water things like peaches and plums, because you could force them into flowering. And then when the frost comes along, you're not going to have any fruit next year. So I was quite happily pouring the water on my figs and citrus yesterday, which is, it sounds ridiculous, but I love using a hose pipe. I think it's really therapeutic. My husband keeps telling me, you need to get yourself one of those, you know, I don't know what they're called, sprinklers and drip systems. And I'm like, no, you know. I really love just standing there and walking around with a watering can. I think it's great. And what a way for me to digress. We're going from gingerbread to watering cans. So there you go. Right, once again, I thank you so much for joining me. Have an absolutely awesome day. And as usual, all links below. Bye.